All right, so tell me a little bit about Midland that you grew up in, because you lived here your whole life. Now you run this museum, and it really shows off everything that's great. Okay, the oil industry is the lifeblood of Midland, which is really cool. But there are a lot of outsiders who are here now.
There are. You see all kinds of license plates here, and you have a lot of people here who haven't been here. And one of the interesting things about Midland as a community is how it was built, with just the amazing generosity of those early families who built the first office building so people would have a place to office, that built the first hotel so they would have a place to meet, and their families are still here, and so it's very different now, because you have people who don't know. You know, I will say, what's the old Midland National Bank building, and they just look at me. And so it's different, and I don't think there's the commitment to the community that was here before, you know, really making things happen here. But we have such stress on our schools, on our hospital, on our infrastructure, on our roads. There's not enough housing, and so the gouging on, you know, the apartment prices. I mean, we pay the highest price for gasoline in the entire state. I'm getting ready to leave town and head towards Austin, and I'm going to fill up somewhere between here and there because it's cheaper.
Really?
And it's like, I guess it's kind of the supply and demand, not supply and demand, but what the consumer will bear.
Yeah.
Hotel rooms, I had a friend send me his hotel receipt for a Homewood Suites. They charged him $450 a night, and by the time he finished paying taxes, one night over $500.
Wow.
That makes me sad. That's not my town. These people have come in to make money off of it, and it's very distressing, you know, to see this. This isn't, you know, it's not local anymore, and people from the outside coming in and charging $500 a room.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
We were talking to someone inside who talked about her son who is so ready to move out and be on his own and live a life in Midland, maybe even work in the oil field in some capacity. But you can't get a two-bedroom apartment for under $2,000 a month, and that's tough.
Yeah, it's really hard. And then take that one step further and think about teachers and nurses and hospital workers and people that work in museums. Our bank accounts aren't bigger because of it.
Because
so
it's here.
how do you draw teachers and nurses, and how do you support this infrastructure when some management company out of some other state has said, hey, I can get $2,000, $3,000 for an apartment? I mean, our biggest struggle is housing for teachers and firefighters and policemen. I mean, we can't, you can't afford to live here.
So we hope this doesn't happen, and no one probably wants to use the B word, and it's bust.
The bust.
But when that happens, what happens to all these apartment complexes, all these new houses, expanded schools? I mean, have you lived through that side of it where it has been slow?
Oh, well, the 80s was really tough. 2006 was tough, but the 80s, literally, you could drive through town and see partially started buildings that just were abandoned, partially started homes that they just walked away from. It's tough, and I do believe now that because the industry is so technology driven, it will be a slightly smoother ride. I am not going to stand here and tell you there won't be a bust, because you've got OPEC. You've got a big player in there that we have no control over. So, you know, it is. You have empty buildings. You have dry cleaners and restaurants that go out of business. I mean, we lost several in the 2006 kind of bust. You know, you had $100 oil and you had $30 oil, and those kind of dramatic shifts are tough. So it's hard. So it's hard. How do you say, okay, I'm going to commit $200 million for all new schools, when everybody who's been here a long time goes, well, if we wait it out, will we still need it? Now, we do. I mean, we need to support our schools, and we need that. And it's very difficult to figure out what the plan for the future is, because we don't know. A lot of in the 80s, a lot of those oil companies shut down offices here. Exxon's one of them, a huge office here. Moved everybody to Houston. We had all those houses hit the market. You had, you know, if their wives were teaching, if their, you know, if sons and daughters were working, they were all gone. And so this kind of vacuum. And so it really affects the entire city when you have a big boom and you don't really know what these bigger companies are going to do. Now they're all building buildings here now, so it's like, well, are you really going to abandon that building? But Exxon did in the 80s, you know, they're like, see ya.
Yeah.
And so it's, I wish I could, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'd all love a crystal ball, but you have Oxy and Chevron and Apache and Anadarko, who are all building office buildings. Concho and Pioneer just finished a building. So it's like, if you've got your building, will that, you know, keep you committed here? And I think most of the industry sees a pretty long run here. We're not talking about oil running out, we're talking about what's the technology to help us get what's in there out. It's getting harder and harder, so you're working in places that it's not easy to get out anymore, and it's going to take different kinds of technology to get it out.
So I think the word of the day is resilient. I think the people here in Midland, like the people who work in the oil field in Louisiana, they're resilient. They're going to do what it takes to provide for their family. But it sort of seems like the message is take care of Midland like it's your own hometown if you're coming to move here.
Exactly. Yeah, we would love to have that happen. We really would. And it's just different. You know, we as the museum, we had some damage to some of our minerals that sat out. Those have been out since 2012. We've never had that happen. We've had, we've had vandalism, and we've had different things happen. It's like, gosh, where do you go as an institution who's committed to preserving and caring for things, but also providing education and being part of their community, and how do you balance taking care of this museum and grounds, because that's our job here, with this influx of people that don't find this to be the institution in Midland, and it's been here 43 years, and we want to support and take care of it. And so it's a really interesting place to be right now. I was here when museums realized they couldn't just sit around and take care of old stuff, and it's all of a sudden like, wow, we need to be in our communities, we need to be doing education, we need to be helping schools. So that was a great shift, because it just expanded. You started working with kids, and you started trying to figure out programs that would help and all of that. And so that was a big shift, and that was fun to be part of. And so now we're moving to kind of this next phase where I want to do all this, because this is what we should be doing, but how do I protect my facility while doing that? And so now we got to figure out, some more, and we'll figure it out. We're creative, and much like our industry people, we find a way to fix our problems, and we'll do it. But it's kind of this interesting next chapter.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. It was great.
Drilling Midland, presented by Ardco Equipment. When the only road is no road, it's Ardco Equipment. Travel consideration provided by Cetera advisor Chris Quibido. Make your money work for you. Call him at 337-205-6656. And A&P Electric Service, serving South Louisiana for 38 years. Find out how they can work for your business. Call him at 337-856-8383.